Maybe one day. That would be one heck of a come up, huh?
Mhm.
It'd be so much less editing. Not that I even edit these in the first place.
Well, you would pay your editor at that point.
Yeah, David.
Hello, David.
Yes. All right. This is it. This is the final wrap up of SAPA Premier League. This is our first team-based tournament we ever tried, and it was a lot of fun. I'm here with Brian as usual,
Hello, it's me.
and we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the usage stats from all 9 weeks of SAPAPL, and then we'll kind of talk about some of our favorite sets, favorite teams, and then we'll give like our own opinions on like who is our team's MVP, and then we'll announce the formal winner. But pretty sure you guys already know at this point, but that's okay. We're gonna leave you in suspense. So before we started in the usage stats, Brian, what was your overall opinion of this format?
I thought this format rocked. I think everyone who invested a lot of time into it got what they wanted out of it,
Hmm.
and those that wanted to take it a little more casually could do so as well. The format selection list was fantastic. Obviously, some more competitive than others, so I loved it, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
So I do think like leading it is if we were to go into like the idea of a perfect Premier League and have four teams, like we would need like there are you and me would always want to do leadership stuff, but it is something to consider for the two others who would step up. But
yeah,
I think it was a fantastic idea, and I think it turned out really well.
yeah. I definitely agree that it turned out really well. I was definitely going in when I came up with this idea in the shower, like I come up with all of my ideas. I was like, I don't know if this would work, but if with two teams, but it really came together. We had a lot of great sets. We had a lot of new players join, try out competitive mods for the first time,
Yeah, that
and
was
we
fantastic.
saw our highest attendance in a format of 16, which was awesome, and looks like we're going to be one upping that in season 10. So that's very exciting.
Woo!
But yeah, let's get into the usage stats. We'll start with DPP, my bread and butter. So unsurprisingly, Tyranitar was the most used Pokemon. T-Tar is one of
Wow.
those guys that like he fulfills so many different roles. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and he's always a good member for a team. Brian, did you ever? How many times did you bring T-Tar?
Me? Oh
Yeah,
man, I must have at least brought him like twice or three times. Like I don't like to use T-Tar. I've never drafted him, but like when you get the chance to say, "Hey, here's a really, really good mon,"
yeah,
you're gonna want to use him.
yeah. I think like just looking at this list, like uh, the Jirachi only at 14 usage, I think is pretty surprising because a lot of people consider Jirachi to be the best mon in the tier. I
Mhm.
think he's number two or number three, depending on the day. But I mean, you can't deny how good it is, and like Tarantar, it's so flexible. You can literally do anything. I personally think Latias is the best, but again, uh, that's just me. And also looking at its usage, like 47% is kind of low. Like,
Yeah,
I
we
mean, with
we
how
a
how
lot for
common
Lottie, I
Tyranitar
think.
was, I guess yeah, it
Mhm.
makes sense. But in a typical OU match, like these two match up all the time, so it's really not a big deal.
Yeah, I never really saw like a Tyranitar like countering a Latias in any of the sets that were played. Generally, it was like bulky steals that would come in like Heatran or Jirachi to ruin Latias's day.
Yeah, we saw so
So
much DD Tar. I think that was the big thing.
yeah, a lot like both like you did it at the beginning, and
Yeah,
then everyone was like, "That's sick," and it wasn't just our team, and it wasn't just your team. Everybody's like, "That's the wave." I don't even think I ever saw a choice band T-Tar after that. Maybe once by Will or something. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I know I ran Scarf once, and then I had my Shuka set that was run a
Mhm.
couple times, but you know, he was mostly DD. And speaking of DD, Gyarados with the 9 uses, 8 wins, and I think that one loss was I think it was me versus JT when I decided to throw the game away. So
Hey, we weren't going to bring that up.
we won't talk about it, but this Gyarados being very good is not surprising. It's one of
I
those
blame
things
that as
where
lack of Jolteon usage, Matt.
yes, that's the answer for sure. But yeah, even like scrolling down, like we have a lot of interesting one-off uses that I like to consider the David zone
Mhm.
of just interesting picks that sometimes worked and other times didn't. And the soul crushing uh, Gengar at 3 uses, which I think is criminally low.
I mean, there's an
Gengar,
obvious reason for that
yeah,
one. It's everybody and their mother said, "Oh my goodness, Rotom Wash," and then said, "Yeah, that's the only ghost type I need." But
yeah,
why? We have Gengar in
you have
DPP. He's
Gengar, who
phenomenal.
is like, I mean, Rotom is overall like a better Pokemon, but like Gengar is really annoying because
Yeah.
like it's faster than basically everything, and it can run like bulkier sets with like Wisp, Taunt to just be a pain in the ass the entire time. And then I'm gonna kind of scroll past, these usage over here. A lot more one-offs. You know, we had a Walrein. It didn't go well.
It was so close.
Not really.
I know it
Walrein
wasn't.
is lame.
Hey, whoa, hey, whoa.
He's lame. I like him as a design. He's a cool dude, but like,
You can make him fun.
I don't think it's very fun.
Yeah, stop bringing Wolverine to your friendlies. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, don't do that. It's pretty cringe. Uh, anyway, just looking at leads, like obviously this just kind of reflects like normal ladder
Well, I don't
play.
know if I would call some of that normal. I'm looking at like lead
The lead
Raikou
zap,
and
yeah. So
lead Zap
Raikou
are a little
Raikou
unusual.
does lead a lot, but Raikou doesn't really see usage anyway. But like
Right.
lead Zapdos, 3 of those were one team, and that was my team. So this is inflated for sure. And I know JT mostly brought lead Metagross. So that's like you also see a lot of like player preference throughout here. But I mean, nothing is really that shocking except these two.
Yeah, no, I will agree with you.
Yeah,
That is, those are the big two that stand out if you're looking at this list. Like everything else makes sense.
yeah. Everything else you can at least conceptualize. Don't look farther than this. This was an idea. It surprisingly worked, but
I will say this about the lead metagame for DPP. It was nice to see a big mix.
mm,
Obviously, T-Tar and Azelf are two very popular leads, and so is Metagross, but none of them really stood out like overwhelmingly. We had a very wide variety throughout the season.
yeah, nothing like dominated in that way, which was cool. Because I mean, we definitely have a tendency to oversaturate certain Pokemon and like leads and stuff, and we really didn't see that with DPP, which is good. But we'll talk more about Pokemon oversaturation, where we used them a lot. Starting with Sun and Moon, and I'm looking at Mr. Rotom. Even though he was tied for number one, he was number one in my heart.
Yeah, it's funny to see how like good he is in Gen 7. He doesn't have that huge stat number that all the other ones at the top here kind of do.
Hmm.
He's just a consistently good washing machine that ruins rain teams, and that is why
Yeah,
he is all the way up there.
dude, he ruins the rain. He volt switches on everything. Like just pain splits, defog. I think defog is really the big thing.
Yeah, you
Like
don't
I think
see a
he's
better
like
defogger up
top
here.
3 defogger. It gets so good.
Yeah.
You come in on Lando, you defog its rocks away, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of Cartana. I mean, Cartana is broken,
Yeah, it's a
but we kind of
70%
know
win
that.
rate, and I remember at least 4 of those games being dittos. So like,
Yeah,
this thing came in, this thing won. It was about as easy as that.
yeah. Like same with like, I always call like Volcaronas like the matchup moth. And looking at a lot of these Pokemon and looking at Volk, it makes sense that it did so well. Like yeah, Heatran had 7 usage. I mean, Heatran is Heatran. Arguably the second best Pokemon in Sun and Moon, after Magearna or Lando, depending who you ask. But I think that usage was kind of low. There's a lot of Celesteela. I know you guys were big fans of it.
I mean, it's just such a fun counter to a lot of the top tier, aka Cartana moments. So,
Yeah, he is. That's true.
so like, it's either you run him or you get a little fancy, and I think we just wanted to keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure. And coming down here, I think the Mega Diancie with the low win rate, I think is kind of funny because Diancie came a lot for not really having any success.
I feel like most of that was due to people running Mega Dancy and not leading it,
Yeah,
and it never really got to become the Mega it always wanted to
yeah.
be.
You don't have to call out Ethan, but
Yeah, I think we did it
I
too.
know he brought Diancie a lot, so
I'm actually very surprised at those Jirachi and Victini numbers. Like just the fact that they were used that much.
that was also Ethan.
Oh, it was okay.
I
Ethan
think these
loves
three
his.
were on a team together, and
Uh,
this team never did the best. So again,
that's
that's a
okay.
inflated. And
I think
here
my
is a
favorite thing I
strictly
can see though
Jordan.
is that right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's a Jordan stat.
love to see that.
Incineroar's not good in OU.
And
That's
you
kind of
monster.
that. Yeah, honestly, nothing really crazy in Sun and Moon, except a lot more Cartana than Mag, which I think is surprising given how broken, like it's comically broken, Magirna.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Oh,
like,
I'm not going to disagree with
yeah.
that.
I mean,
I know when I helped prep Sun and Moon teams though, I said either like prepare to lose to Magarnia or be cooler and bring your own team. And I think like it was either like bring your own Magarnia and then beat their Magarnia, or just pretend it doesn't exist. And I think that's why the number is so low. I think people were willing to go away from it, even though they probably would have won more games with it.
mm,
So just an interesting little like. That's why you see some of the crazy used mons. Like we weren't picking Magarnia. It didn't happen as often as I think maybe it should have.
yeah. And then we'll move over to OU. So some of these stats are definitely a little skewed because of home. Home
Yeah,
coming out,
home
I
really
think like
threw us
week
off.
5, like literally halfway through. So like Goldango and Tusk having so much more than everything else. I mean, they're still staples. Goldango being over Tusk is actually crazy to me.
No way. I think Goldango being number one makes perfect sense because like you still have Landorus, I think, right, with Tusk, if I remember that correctly, or is that the
Yeah,
other
but
meta?
like I remember I looked through. It's like where's Landorus on? Yeah,
Where's
3
Landorus?
uses for Landorus. I
Oh
don't
my
think
gosh,
that's
that's nothing.
yeah.
Wow. Well, also I want to say like, Tusk is used as the rocker and the spinner, right?
Mostly just spin. He can rock, but yeah.
But then you look at the 3 and 4, right? And you have your defogger and you have your entry hazard setter with spikes right after him, taking some of that usage even potentially.
Yeah, I mean, well, Tusk is almost mandatory because
Yeah,
like there
he's
really
just
aren't any good hazard removal. Like yeah, like you can defog with Corv, but like Goldango blocks that. So like him
yep.
being like top 2 is makes perfect sense. I'm just shocked that he's over Tusk.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I can totally agree. And then it's funny seeing the next 3 not even be 10 uses. Like
Yeah.
once home drop, people started going out of their mind trying to find funny things,
Uh,
different things.
yeah. I brought Samurai, I think 5 times. Half of that's me. I have no shame. I love that
Shout out
thing.
to Matt's teams. You can see where the Galler Slow King is too.
Yeah,
Right
that's
there
me
on the
too.
usage.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I use Goldango a lot too. I use Tusk a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, my cores are there, but they're also like the best Pokemon in the tier, so it's not really a far fetched statement. Garganacl with the high win rate. I mean, we've talked about it to death.
We
Cover
sure have.
Cloak.
I can talk about it again if you want.
Yeah, have it in the back of your mind. Of course, we got a lot of Rotom. His usage definitely fell off after home, just because
Yep.
new
Oh
toy
yeah, totally.
syndrome.
Yep.
Really low on Dragapult and Gambit, especially Gambit.
I could not believe the lack of Gambit usage. I was shocked.
Yeah,
It's a
I
six
have
man
personal
format. Where is
standards,
he?
but still, he's this mod is broken.
Yeah. Oh,
And
both of them are fantastic, and both of them I think just won a the nationals for VGC. Why are they all the way down there?
yeah, yeah, it's true. It's a good point. But I know Valiant with 9 is also criminally low, but I think this is a tier where we definitely got hit with the hey, home is here. Let's try all the new things because we're gonna start to get to the the one-off uses. Like Urshifu is now banned, so that doesn't count. Tropius was
Right.
here, like Sylveon, Regidrago. Like a lot of these aren't really OU mons. The
No.
Cinderace with the only 2 usage is also kind of crazy. And look at Dragonite.
Ooh, you hate to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I used to tease Adam back in season 9 where I was like, you could do other things besides Terra Normal E-Speed, but like that's really all he can do in singles.
Yeah. I mean, Chris did bring Dragonite a decent amount on his Wochian team, so that does contribute to a lot of the usage, and that was both pre-home and post-home.
Yeah, because it was like
Yeah.
the same one every time.
Yeah, he liked to use that team a lot, and that's why you can
Yeah.
see like Tendozo and Wochian all having around 7 uses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
actually a little surprised I didn't see. Yeah, look at that. Pelipper with
yeah.
1 use.
So there's really one
You
like
can see the
actual
rain
rain team.
right there.
Yeah. Not that much sun. Like we have 6 uses of Walking Wake.
I don't
There's a
even
lot
see
of
purple.
Quaquaval. I know that was a Chris team.
Yeah, it was Chris THT
So
if I
a
recall.
lot of like, there's very similar. Like here's Bochen, Dondozo, Quaquaval. I think that was a team that Conk Chris had,
Yeah.
and he brought that basically every time. So a lot again, some
And I
inflation
wanted to
there.
point out, even with the teams, like teams were brought multiple times, absolutely. It
Yeah,
still had 76 different Pokemon used. Like that's pretty cool.
yeah, and especially I think that one week where Home like just came out, uh, it was it was like, oh, new toy syndrome
I think that
and
was
all that.
JT
So
versus David week, and that was a really funny set.
oh my god, it was so funny.
I would watch it again.
There was
It's
some,
just to see, like, I think it might have been like 20 new Pokemon used overall, like total,
yeah.
like just in that set.
Honestly, they're probably half of the ones. Like
Yeah,
this is a David Pokemon, Dave
there is.
Frenchie Drago.
There is.
And so I remember Zarude being there for some reason.
Yeah, I still never really got that one.
Yeah. Ursaluna with the, you know, remember when he came out, everyone was like, oh, he's gonna break singles, and then he didn't.
And then he didn't. I never thought he was. I'm gonna be real with you, Matt. I never thought he was gonna break singles. I just went
No.
like, oh, that kind of looks like a Mega Heracross in
Yeah,
disguise.
but
Okay.
VGC is a different story.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's gonna be a monster
Yeah.
there. I don't even want to know.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do monotype real quick. Not surprised. Dark was the most used type. Dark is like the best type of the game right now.
And it
And
was like comically used at the beginning. Like I think every single person used Dark at like the very beginning,
yeah,
only for it to fall off a bit until the end because people started going, "Oh, hey, Home came out," and now all the other types start getting
they
used.
unbanned Fluttermane, so Fairy was that's when
Oh,
Fairy
that's
got
right.
used.
They did unban Fluttermane.
Yep.
Yep,
So
Fairy
that's
jumped
that.
up from zero.
And then Ice was used a lot because this is probably the best that Mono Ice has ever been.
I think it's top two, if not top one. I could see it taking a case over Dark just due to how good uh, Hail plus screens plus
Yeah,
Chen Pao.
it just sucks
It's so
because
good.
if Alolan Ninetales was there, I mean, I think Ice would be even better. But like Obama
One
Snow
extra
is
fighting
just,
chance, yeah.
you know. And then fighting having the highest overall win percentage, just given everything. And look at Dark, only won twice.
Yeah, no,
So
I got slapped with Dark. I remember it.
I remember that too.
I do think Dark though is absolutely worth
Yeah.
cooking up to and for, and you should always prep for Dark in this current doubles
Oh,
over you. Doubles
yeah.
over
If you want to
use
play
meta.
monotype in a non-monotype format, like just do Dark.
Yeah, it looks pretty standard.
Like I know we see Ice as like, oh, it's funny. Realistically, you're just gonna get sad. But Dark, you've Chi-Yu, and then you could just do stupid fish things.
You
And
really can.
that's kind of it for monotype.
Well, actually, I do want to point out the unfortunate L's of monotype. Grass is bad, and it showed. It
Yeah,
never won. It was used a ton. I get it. It's funny. It has the little Voltorb Electrode guy. Man, it can't back it up.
yeah,
I want it to be good though. I really do, but not this time.
yeah. I
And
feel like
another
you got to
little
do
one
it
being
so
is,
specific.
yeah,
All right, let's talk
it's
about Little Cup.
interesting. Oh
Zorua
boy,
dominated this format.
it sure did. Little Cup only brought what, two or one new Pokemon with home, so we got to see a lot more consistent usage
Yeah,
in this
and
format.
the one that came got banned.
Yeah, immediately. Like, it wasn't even that many weeks. And I
Yeah,
think that
literally.
win
Oh,
number kind of showed
Voltorb,
why.
Voltorb, and Alolan Grimer.
Oh yeah, there's
That's
there's
really
the
it.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I know my team spammed Zorua. Tim brought
Yep.
it every week. Tim brought the Poniard Zorua combo. We saw a lot of Crabrawler, but I think that Crabrawler one was definitely a victim of every single team having Zorua. And then
Yeah, like
that
you have to
Zorua paired
get the
with,
roar off the field for the Cabrawler, and sometimes
yeah,
oh, it's not actually who I think it is, and now my Cabrawler's burned, and well, that sucks.
yeah. It's a lot of mind games you have to play. So this is definitely not reflective of how good Crabrawler is.
Not at all. No,
Sinistea is all Ethan.
I think literally all Ethan. Yes.
All Ethan. That's his dude. Uh, he made it work sometimes. He played that team well. It was a double ghost with, again, Zorua.
I thought it was a fantastic team. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
it was
honest.
really cool. We'll definitely. I think we'll be talking about it a little bit later too. Then we got some Tim shenanigans with Cyndaquil, Eevee.
You can see the Diglett getting used before it got banned as well a few times.
Mm-hmm. Shroodle is bad.
No, whoa,
I
hey,
don't know. I
whoa.
don't see it.
Strudel's fantastic. That thing's a monster. I'm gonna completely disagree with you here. Yeah, I think he was only used by Ethan in Little Cup, but it showed me the way. I think Strudel's top 10. I think he's actually legitimately getting top 10 usage still.
Is it really?
Yeah, he's very, very good
Wow.
with what he can do. It's just he is a victim of circumstance. Sometimes your opponent knows what you're going to bring. When we would say Ethan's in Little Cup, we're going to see Sinistea and Strudel. We tried our best to prepare for it, and
Yeah,
unfortunately,
and well, we could see the
come in.
same amount of usage, and
Yeah,
I guess
sometimes
there
that
was one
happens.
game where they weren't together because otherwise this would be a two as well.
Correct. I'm not sure when that was, but yeah.
Yeah,
I do think it was cool to see 46 unique Little Cup Pokemons,
yeah.
especially with like the lack of the staples of previous Little Cup generations. So
Where
almost
Mindfu, where
all of the
Scraggy.
yeah. Where's Onyx? Not here. So we got a
That's
lot
true.
of cool experimentation with these teams, and I loved watching Little Cup this year.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a documented Little Cup hater, but I've enjoyed this format. Like it's been fun
I
to watch. I never played it, but I enjoy watching it.
will
Uh,
like it one day. I
so
trust.
welcome to Victini's domain. Black White
Woo!
UU. Victini is broken. I can't wait for him to get banned from the tier one day. That's
I
my
don't know,
that's my
man.
hope.
I really think Azol's better than him.
I just think you're wrong.
I mean, the win rates don't lie. But we do see Victini with 19 uses. Considering there
And most of
were,
these were dittos.
yeah, I'm like most of them were dittos. Like that's a pretty good win rate. And on top of that, like you look at the top five, and Victini can like smoke every one of those, like no
Yeah,
questions
it
asked.
can smoke literally everything here.
So while he is very busted good, I'm glad he didn't go because I did like everyone using different Victinis throughout the. I'd say throughout the entire SAPA, like SAPA
Hmm.
PL. But
Yeah,
I don't ever think one like Victini set ever just like dominated a match. People were pretty prepared for it too. It ended up like at least we made sure to be competitive against Victini, which is so there was a lot more fun happening throughout the sets than just he brought Scarf Victini, hit V, create a bunch and won.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which I mean, like you kind of just have to build for the most oppressive, the best Pokemon in the tier. You have to prepare for it, and if you don't, you have a bad team.
exactly.
That's really what it comes down to. Speaking of
Um,
things that nobody prepared for and kept winning, Porygon 2. I
what a
lost to it,
beast!
and I
What a
think this
beast!
was Will, and I think Tim brought it once too.
Yeah, Duck is very good. First gen with a Violite.
Yeah.
He will hang around forever if you did not bring a knockoff user.
Mm,
Simple as that.
yeah. And it's really cool because, like, the Snorlax down here and Togekiss, like, these are phenomenal Pokemon. And Shaman too.
Especially
Like, these are
Snorlax, yeah.
phenomenal. These don't represent it. I know I brought Snorlax a lot. I know Hall brought Snorlax a lot. And we would thud into rough matchups like Cofagrigus and Porygon. Because I think they were paired together pretty much every time.
Yeah, the normal ghost defensive core, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely hard to break through. Where is my friend Druddigon? There he is.
Oh, he's right there. He's
Yeah.
big vibe.
Uh, this guy was used 3 times, and it was all the same team.
No.
Druddigon.
Jordan brought him once. That's
Yeah,
why
I
it's
know.
not.
That's what I'm saying. I brought him twice. Jordan brought it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have
Druddigon
been
is
used a little
great.
more, maybe.
It's the best dragon in the tier.
Flygon is right there. What are you on?
I know what I said. Flygon is mid. Druddigon is based. And Kingdra is a bad Pokemon.
Where is
Uh,
Kingdra? Ooh,
probably down here.
no, I saw it. It was up in the mid. But you know who
Where's
is down there, Matt? Raikou.
Raikou is down here.
Oh my mind. What is that?
Use Zapdos.
That is supposedly the number 2 best Pokemon in the tier. Yes, above Victini according to the viability rankings, if I recall.
Those viability rankings are like 10 years old.
I mean, yeah, you can't find anything good about Black and White UU, which is why my team graciously made a new viability rankings that just says Victini.
Yeah.
Very good document. You should all go read it.
Yeah, it's very
But
good.
yeah, no, Raikou having not a single win, very different from what we see in other gens with popular Raikou usage, especially
Yeah.
DPP and possibly upcoming Gen 3.
Yeah, no, Raikou has historically been probably the most dominant, if not the most dominant Pokemon across our draft leagues. So this is crazy. And as a Zapdos believer and enjoyer, I'm all about it. Even though that's not much better.
At least there's some dubs
At
on the
least
board.
there's some dubs there. But yeah, that's Black and White. Also notice that 70 different Pokemon as opposed to like 71 for Sun and Moon, 71 for Natdex. There's like hundreds of dudes, and yet Black and White, we
Literally
just said,
hundreds of dudes
fuck it,
now.
we're gonna use all the guys.
I think that's why I enjoyed watching Black and White UU so much this season was just the absolute variety of sets that came in.
Hmm.
And it was from like all everybody that wanted to build around different mons. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Like you can look at those numbers on your own time and just like that list is kind of ridiculous. You don't see like at least half of those in standard UU play.
Yeah. And even the ones that are in the tier, you don't see them anyway.
Yeah.
I guess we'll finish up here with Natdex. We'll kind of go through this quick. This was a case of a lot of people would build like one or two Natdex teams and just kind of continue to use them.
At a
And you
moment.
could kind of see that. Yeah, like a lot of Tusk, a lot of Goldango. A Valiant again dominating when it was brought. Very good. Should be used
Extremely,
more. Yeah,
extremely good mon.
a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain. Just generally like every week feel like there was a rain team. So then we got the Zapdos partner, and then Mega Swampert. Yeah, there he is.
Yep, literally hand in hand.
Yep, Barrascuda sometimes.
I think at some point it was Natdex. So I think we got the ghost water types that I cannot remember their names. They
Oh,
should have a little bit of the rain.
Basculegion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe Mask Legion was used a tiny bit too in comparison to Mega Swampert and stuff.
yeah,
But you can see a lot of these teams are not only just like Atom teams, but also like Chris THT teams. You can see with the 15 Clodsire usage.
a lot of Clodsire, a lot of Heatran, Rillaboom.
Right, Rillaboom especially. Um,
Yeah, I mean Tusk, Goldango again, just good
Even so,
Pokemon.
we still got what 71 different Pokemon used. Like while those all have double digit usage rates, we can come down here and see like just a
I don't know,
pretty
Brian. A
wide
lot of these are
variety.
you.
Me? Oh yeah, hold on. We're not going to talk about those.
Yeah, there's a lot of these that are you. Like
I only played one
Buffalant,
week.
Deoxys Defense.
Maybe.
Actually, I don't think Mo was you. Mega Amp, I know you were.
Oh, no,
Pikachu
come on,
hat.
come on. Let's see.
Come on.
Oh, Pikachu hat, my brother. Oh, I love him. Look at him. He's got a hat on. He's finally good, Matt.
Yeah.
You can set his nature. It's finally good.
Anyway, Toxapex, no wins.
Landorino
Landorus,
wins.
no wins.
We
Cringe has
like that,
been
right?
defeated.
We're personally very happy about those two stats, right?
No, I'm happy about this one. Free my guy Lando. He's him. But yeah,
Uh,
that's not Dex. Nothing too crazy there. So just to kind of continue to give our farewell tour, our Eras tour for SAPAPL, we're gonna kind of go over some of our favorite sets, and Brian is gonna go over some of his first.
ooh, yeah. So this is Jordan versus Ethan week 1. This was the first week of Little Cup. And I was really happy to watch this match because Jordan had come day 1 on the team and said to me, I want to make a team with Tandem Mouse. When I told her Tandem Mouse is terrible and should not be used, she said, no, we're going to do it anyways. So here comes the team. And then what do I see on the other side? I see Ethan bringing Sinisty, and I'm like, oh, this is automatically going to be a great format, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this was a pretty cool set. Definitely set the tone for the beginning of the year, both with Hisui and Zora and the funny. We have like a very good team. Like this is a top five team with like one secret agency mon on each. And I think we saw
Yeah.
a lot this season.
And
And
I
then
think
the game actually was pretty fun too. We got to watch a nice.
So
set
we're
from
not
this.
gonna be going through the replays as this is just one game, but we really see like the start of like the structure of having a cool Pokemon you like, and then surround it with like actually good Pokemon that can basically carry the team and do the work. And then when you get your other guy to work out, then it's awesome and everybody pops off for you. So we'll
And
go
this
into
is
the
actually a
second
fairly
game.
good total.
Oh, I hate this one.
Yes, my second game. Drew versus Matt. Matt's not happy that I chose this one as one of my favorite sets of the year, but we all came into it. I think it was week 5, if I recall correctly.
Hmm.
Um, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this was week 5. So we were really pulling for a win this week. It was 2-2.
I think it was 3-3
And
actually.
no, it was 2 to no,
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 this was the
3.
last
Yeah,
game of the
sorry, I'm
week.
doing. Yeah, yeah. This was the last game of the week, but I'm calling 2-2 on the sets. Like the
Oh
set
yeah, yeah,
score
yeah, yeah.
for the year was 2-2, and the game score of the year was 3-3. And I think this set the tone for the rest of the season when Drew pulled off the upset against Matt. And he also did it all on his own. He didn't contact anyone for these teams. He made them on his own, which, I'd be happy if he wanted to. Obviously, like everyone was there to talk it out. But he said, I'm going to make some fun teams. Every team he brought was unique in some way. And while maybe the set wasn't the greatest, in Matt's words, a little hacksy,
A lot of
uh,
hacksy.
a lot of hacksy, but like I really enjoyed watching both the set and the way the teams were built. Like, first of all, this man's using Meloetta and he can't even use Relic Song. Like, that's automatically hysterical. But he surrounds it with a really cool Cobalion melodic core. Like, we love to see this. And speaking of Cobalion, you had him too, and
Yeah,
I
that's my
personally
guy.
very much liked your teams. Like, this is a really
This
cool
team
double
was
fire
dope.
team.
This team
Yeah.
was dope. Sunny Day Arcanine, I just missed. I used Fire Blast 3 times. I missed all of them.
Well, you should have sent them in against Machamp, but
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, like I do remember the Arcanine being very, very cool. Like, Sunny Day Arcanine is probably my
Yeah,
favorite set of any Arcanine ever. So
yeah,
they're like, it just this is a good set at the end of the day, and it's set that we when Drew ended up winning, the whole chat popped off. Our team ended up pinning in our Discord. The calculator's a crutch because of the set, and I think it has to be mentioned. So we can
yeah.
move on though, Matt. We can save.
Cool.
My turn in the spotlight will be soon.
Yeah, yeah, go for
But
it.
this looks to be what do we got? We got Adam versus Corey week 6.
This is Nat
So
Dex.
Nat Dex. Well, first of all, while I may not think this is Adam's best Nat Dex team, Matt,
I
if I
think this
recall,
team
said
was
this is.
really good. I
Um,
also think Adam played this set very well in
yes, in
general.
this set it was fantastic. He really struggled off the gate. I remember when he lost to one of the setup birds. Like,
Probably Articuno.
yeah, Articuno Galler just immediately and ended up making a 2-game comeback that was quite fun to watch, especially with this team not really having too many answers to that mon. But he
Yeah.
he worked the team well. He used the team throughout the rest of the season too, and he was like tweaking it. And it was really awesome to see him build this. I'm gonna just call it Valiant Dragonite team because that's his homies. And he
Yeah.
built a team around that from week 1. It wasn't this build to what ended up being this build, and I think changed a little bit later. And it was just really, really good Adam gameplay, and especially on this week where he got the upset, everybody was popping off. We were real happy for him. So,
Mhm.
and I believe this also set the win for us that week. So, big,
I think it
big ups
did.
there.
Yeah.
Like, we really clutched out each week with some big upsets. So I got to give my shout outs to the homies when they did it.
Yeah,
So
for
that
sure.
would be pretty much it for this set. For set, we have oh my, we had this set right.
Oh, this one was funny. This is the fuck you tree.
It's really hey, spoilers. Yeah, while this replay on the screen doesn't really show you what this set ends up becoming, because I believe Paul brings quite a different team in the next few games.
Yeah.
I do like when Jordan Hall played. This ended up being a really fun set. We had some hysterical moments with Mega Dancy this game, and we saw Zygarde 10% almost work. Real, props for trying it. It's not a good mon.
No, it's very
It's
bad.
funny. It's very funny. It's got one gimmick. It's got one niche, so I don't hate it. But we got, at least we surrounded it. We had a really fun team, and I did really much enjoy Jordan's building this week. When she built her Gen 7 teams week 7, like, that was very fun to be a part of. So I think that's why this set gets my like seal of approval.
Yeah.
Personally, just the whole week up to that was great.
I also want to just jump in and say, Hall's circuitry being Z Hypnosis, and then going for the Z Hypnosis as Mega Diancie came in to get Hypnosis bounce back and then it miss was hilarious.
The funniest
That's
thing
why
I
I put
witnessed
this.
all week.
That's why I put this replay up because it was funny and made me laugh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Only in Sapa.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm just gonna let the DPP one play because we don't have a team preview. Like we're not gonna talk about it. I'll be talking about this team later too.
right.
Uh,
Very
but
good
yeah.
team. But this is JT versus Corey week 9. As unfortunate as it is that I picked an Electivire replay, I do have to say that this was the rematch, the revenge game for JT. He had waited a long time. He ends up pulling out the 2-1 set over Corey. And I think for him and just for all of our team, we were just extremely happy that he got that. He got that win. He had a tough season. He didn't get a whole lot of wins up to
Hmm.
that point. You know, a lot of bad hacks. So
Yeah.
getting the final season game going was just like it's something we all got to enjoy,
Yeah. He
and
needed
that's
it.
why
He
I
needed
got
it.
to enjoy this set. Not because he brought Electivire. I'm not saying this is my favorite set because of that. Absolutely
No.
not. That's not my guy. And you know me, Matt. I'm a lover of the bad Pokemon, so that's how you know.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so yeah, I will say very very big shout outs JT. Again, pulling out this week. It wasn't the final match of the week, but it was an important one, and I think it set a good tone.
Yeah, I
So
really did.
you can fast forward the rest of this game. You can
Yeah, so
skip
we're
through
just
going through
we're
the
not going to
teams.
go through it, but JT does make a great play with the healing wish, bringing Lucario back to win the game.
Yes,
Getting the high roll on Machamp to knock it out,
yes. I
which
should
is
have
cool.
mentioned that. Thank you. I
Yeah.
did forget the very important healing wish and the whole end game comeback. Like really keeping his mental in for that.
Yeah.
So nice job.
But yeah, we will be talking about this team a little bit later. So these are some of the games that I really liked. So Brian, you might not appreciate the first two, but this was Tim versus
I
Brian in
will.
week
I do.
one. Ghost versus Normal is our classic showdown, going all the way back to season one, where I was Ghost and you were Normal.
True.
And this set was just really funny. Just a lot of tomfoolery, and this was a game that Tim ended up winning, and he ended up winning the set, which is probably the biggest upset in the whole SAPAPL,
Yeah,
because
I
this
guess
is really the
so.
second format that Tim has played, and this kind of set the tone for him being a really great player for my team. Very impressed with how well he did.
Yeah, as much as I want to discourage my play here, I cannot say anything bad about how Tim did. Like, he brought a fantastic team all 3 games, not just this one.
Hmm.
Um, and he really did pull off like a huge victory. And like for your team, I think that might have been the victory for the week too.
Yeah, this was week one, and it was a huge upset. Like cannot understate how big that was. But we'll go to the second game. Here's another instance of uh, my team defeating Brian
I feel
in a
like
way that was unexpected because you look at Brian's team, you go, oh, it's the squid team. You know, it's some there's a stack attacker, there's a big fish, but now he's little.
yeah.
Uh, and then THT, who is new to competitive Pokemon as of SAPAPL, comes in. He was having a great season. I think he was undefeated at this point. But this was like his first real test, and this is a team that he'd been using consistently, and he was able to pull out a crazy comeback that realistically should never have happened, but it did, and it was hilarious. So just got to give shout outs to that.
I love when Chris and I played this set, it was really fun. I don't think he knew like all the mechanics behind my team at the start. In fact, I'm not sure he knew anyone besides maybe Mousehold.
Hmm.
So he learned on the fly real fast that Goldango kind of just destroys this whole team, and eventually got it in safely and made it work. It was lovely to see.
Yeah, it's just really good adaptation, especially from a newer player versus a very experienced one. So let that be kind of like a reminder that anyone can win any given week, always. So this one, I'm just gonna play. Yes, this is me versus JT in week 7. This was a last minute change to the schedule where Corey was supposed to play JT. This was supposed to be the rematch, but Corey was, I think, in North Carolina. So I was at work, and I texted JT and I said, let's just play. So I'm sitting at the desk, doing this, bringing out this team, a team I got from the forums. And I thought this game was a lot of fun because it was full of some unexpected things. like this is the Scarf Skarmory team, triple Scarf. We have the running joke in our league about the double Scarf meta. Shout out to David.
Shout out.
So I had to naturally, one up it a little bit. And it was just a fun set, and I think kind of highlighted DPP. We're going to lose Brian in a sec, and it is just me because my power just went out. So I'm right now rolling solo. Uh, so just to finish up with this replay, oh boy, this is going to be fun to look at in post, huh? But yeah, this is just a great set and a good wrap up to the DPP season for me. So we're going to pause the recording here, and we're going to resume when I get my power back. All right, thank you for tuning in to the commercial break. My power has returned. It's only been like, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes. I went to Wawa, but here we are. We're going to keep talking about Pokemon. This set, this is me versus Adam in Week 8. This was a fun set because it kind of showed to me how much Adam has improved as a player. Because for a long time, like, Adam has struggled against me. But in this game, like, he played super well, and yeah, I was able to win the game and the set. They were very close games, and it's like I like seeing improvement between the players, using good teams they're comfortable with, and that's why this one stood out to me. Plus, I brought Volcanion, and Volcanion is cool.
He is pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go over the last one. We'll let this one play. All right, so David, my guy, he has been bringing some interesting teams on the concept of agency, being the one shit tier mon, and then surrounded by 5 really good Pokemon to carry the team, and then everybody pops off when the shit mon does well. David has taken that concept to the extreme throughout this season, for good and for bad. But in this game, it all came together as Will has brought his version of a hardcore stall team, which, even if it isn't the greatest stall team, this shows that David's gimmick that he really wanted to work on, which was gravity, was actually going to do something and be good versus other kinds of teams that weren't just offense. And I gotta give props, because it took a couple weeks and a lot of pleading, but he did it. He pulled out a big win with a unique team that worked.
And most importantly, he was also playing against a stall team.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he doesn't really enjoy stall, but he took his time and got through the 45 turns or whatever until he found his point that he needed. And like cleaned it up from there. Like, it was nice that he didn't get frustrated. He played it patiently, and with a very gimmicky gravity team that worked out. Like, he worked it very nicely. He found what he wanted with it.
Yeah, even like showing the entire team by turn 12, which usually if that's happening to you in a DPP match, you're not doing something's not right, because you usually want to keep, like if you have a Lucario, you want to keep it hidden in the back, for example. But yeah, plus, like, David had been going on about, like, how everything that isn't hyper offense is stall, and which is, that's its own problem. That's its own video. But again, this one was just David made a really good team. He defeated his arch nemesis stall using a funny gimmick, and I think it's just the perfect culmination of his season.
Big shout to David.
Yeah. So as we transition into looking more at specific teams, I have a couple Pokepace lined up. So this first team, whenever you see Nigerian Prince the Zapdos, it's this team. This is the Paraflinch team that Corey brought, I think, 3 times.
Fantastic team name. Exactly what I felt every time I watched it.
Yeah. So I've since made a couple of changes to this team. There's a different Zapdos spread. It's more offensive. Breloom can have Mach Punch over Superpower. I can also add in Spore over Facade if that's what you want, but with this team, spreading Paralysis, Spore isn't really that useful. And then, this doesn't have to be bold Starmie. Like, this can be a faster Starmie or anything. There's a lot of room for customization. Like, this could be bulk up Machamp with like a Lumberry, which would be really cool. But I mean, you don't have the pair fusion, but like this is something you could do to kind of bluff it a little bit more. But this is a really good team. I'll have it linked in the description. We are working on a basically like a rental team kind of thing, where we're gonna have a bunch of different teams to try out if you want to hit up ladders and stuff. And this one will definitely be on there. Brian, anything you want to add on this one?
This team's a menace and is the entire reason why there is lead Zapdos stats. Please give it a try.
Yeah, it's good. This is just one version of Tim's Little Cup teams that he brought pretty much every time. Dang, it sucks that there's no image for Zorua.
Still no image, wow.
Yeah, you would think, But, yeah, it's a great team. This one has Cyndaquil. Has his funny Grookey with the Grassy Seed. Yeah, it's a fun team. It kind of defined our Little Cup experience, and it made watching Little Cup fun. And I think that alone gives it a reason to be highlighted here.
Yeah, this is an enjoyable team that also encapsulates a really good Little Cup core. Very aggressive too, so it's actually quite fun to play. Like it's got everything you want on a good team, but it's also really like fast paced.
Mm-hmm. Also, Power Phantom Force is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think anyone did that up till Tim. I think we were obviously looking at ways to activate Unburden, but we never did the Phantom Force strats.
Yeah. Which, like, you look at it, and there's definitely tweaks you can make to the team, to fit, like, your own play style. Like, Cyndaquil could be, another fire type. It's like, this Grookey could be a Violet. You could make this Drifblim Grassy Seed. Yeah, like, you could change it up a bit. But, like, the core foundation is really good and worth trying out. This is a Gen 7 team. Hall used it in week 2. This is a team I made, I think 3 years ago, so it might be a little outdated, but regardless, the concept is very similar. It's called Zero Brain. You set up the Psychic Terrain, and you kill people with Alakazam.
It turns out this is called Size Spam, and it's really good.
Turns out Size Spam is really good, and then you have 3 really good defensive bonds with Spadef Heatran, Fizdef Rotom Wash, and then Torn. So you have your really good defensive synergy between Heatran and Rotom. You have your hazard control and everything with Torn, so you can keep Lele and Zam going, and then clean up with Kartana. That's kind of the basic thing. And I gave this team to Hall literally 5 minutes before his set, and he played 3 games, and by halfway through the second game, it all clicked, and he made it look really good. Not much else to say about this one.
Pretty easy to pilot team that will get you results. Like it's very, very strong. It uses the mons you want to use. I have 0 issues with this team. I would have recommended the same team to any of my beginning players playing Gen 7 to start. Something very fun but simple to use.
Yeah. Here we have, this is my Gen 9 OU team. I've had pretty good success with this on the ladder as well. This is the one that is responsible for all the Zapdos wins. Again, I have an agenda, I guess. And then all the Samurai uses. I like Scarf Sucker Punch. It's not, it's not a thing. Usually it should be knockoff. But, I like the Sucker because this has won me a lot of games because I have this secondary revenge killer. Like, even if I get knocked, I still have Sucker Punch to pick off sweepers, which is nice.
Exactly. And also don't forget about the king that's Slow King Galar here.
Yeah.
Really holds the team together with Future Sight shenanigans.
Yeah, you don't have to have Surf. Again, this is an old team, so at the time, Surf was really nice. Again, this could be whatever you want. With Terra Water to kind of boost up Surf's damage. Realistically, you probably want to make him Terra Flying now, with how good Enamorus is.
True.
Here's Bulky Zapdos. I'm not 100% sure what the speed is for. I actually forget.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
who's that little friend right below him, though?
yeah. So this is Spadef Goldango.
Ooh,
He
who's it back
outruns.
to?
I think it's no speed base 100s. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, but he's got Covert Cloak, so is really good into Garg. Terra Dark here, just to switch into like really strong ghost moves, like a Dragapult locked into Shadow Ball, and then you can turn the tides and throw off your own. Definitely had really good success with this guy because it helps you live like hits you shouldn't, and sometimes that's all you need when you're super bulky like this.
I will definitely agree with it because that's pretty much the Goldango I used with a different Terra type. But that is like that specially defensive Goldango is incredible.
Yeah. Here's my Fizdef Tusk. This is enough speed so you can outrun Iron Valiant that doesn't have booster energy at +1 speed, which could be really nice for your team. You could get some chip with Earthquake, especially if it's weakened, stuff like that. And then Terra Water is just good defensive synergy with this guy. And then the secret formula, they don't know, but you know there's not much to get here. It's DD Bex Caliber. Honestly, you can lead off with this thing, Terra Fairy, click DD, and you could probably just win a game.
Gen 9 moment.
Yeah, no, that's just Bex Caliber. So this is a good team, and you definitely try it out. I just want to highlight THT Chris's NatDex team. We've talked about it a lot in our videos, but this was a really good showcase of being a newer player and getting comfortable with a team and just building. This is the Heat Trend Rotom Wash, really good synergy again. And you have a good Firewater Grass core here, and then good hazards, hazard removal, and then you have your special attacker here. I don't know if the spread does. Chris never specified.
That looks pretty standard. Like one of the import-export standard sets, but it's the team itself is really cool, and he still had like that backup pocket of Eclair to not get setup swept all the time if he could get around it. So this was a nice team, and he really started playing into his own as he got comfortable with it. So I think this is a team I would be more than happy to use.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one where it's like, sometimes when you're trying to learn a tier, just getting comfortable with good Pokemon that you like Clodsire, everybody likes him, but you also kind of forget that it's really good on its own, and sometimes we like Pokemon that are bad. For example, I like Typhlosion, so I don't go and build Typhlosion OU teams because I know they don't work. So you try, and then you find out, oh, this sucks, I don't want to use that. But that's why we have lower tiers to play, so things like that. Let's look at this. This one's good. Brian, you want to talk about this one?
Yes. Will and I were building out some doubles OU teams one of these weeks. He was not too happy with what we were building. He didn't really find any joy in any of them. So I said, hold on, buddy. I got you. And we built this Thank You Genies team. Turns out it's mono flying. It's post home. It is 3 genies. It is 3 birds. That's it. Very simple. Yep. Very powerful. It might look like a meme at first, but this team is tailored toward, actually doing the job correctly, not just being a funny meme team. The first at the very top, we have Klefki effectively. We have our Tailwind Setter, our Taunter, our Rain Dancer in Tornadus here, and allowing Landorus and Thundurus to just spam their signature moves. It's doubles. If you happen to spin in the right matchup, you can just pretty much win right off the bat. The items are all plug and play. You can really mix them up however you want.
Like this could be Life Orb for sure.
Yeah, like that could be Life Orb Thundy. Zapdos is only banded because Will really wanted to hit Thunderous Kick. Like there's a lot of room to play here. But running these 6, as soon as you want to do for a mono flying team, you've got a pretty good.
They have good synergy.
Yeah. You actually have good synergy for as memey as it is. So I'd say if you want to be funny, there is no sadly you can't play this as like a tier. So only if you're playing against your friends really can you use this kind of team. But you could also try it for monotype singles.
Honestly, put it on the ladder. You could probably win a couple games.
I'm not sure it'll be as good because a lot of these moves are meant for doubles like Sandstone Storm and Wild Bolt Storm, but I'd say why not? Go have some fun.
Yeah. So the last 2 teams we're going to highlight, we're going to talk about some partners in crime shenanigans. this was my favorite side event by far. I enjoyed watching the creativity fly, and I think Adam's electric terrain-based team was really cool. Because again, he's using Pokemon he likes. Electric's his favorite type. But like, it was just really, it was really fun. I enjoyed watching it.
This team has so many shenanigans with the Raichu lower surge surfing and the double volt absorbs and the quark drives. Like, there is a lot of like standard clean stuff here. Regieleki getting to use other moves that aren't electric, like even stuff like that. Yeah. So
dude, Regieleki Hydro Pump, bro.
Yeah, Regieleki
whatever he has.
We actually spent a lot of time building this team too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nearly this fun. That's why it's 2.3. It probably was like 2.0 at some point. Mm-hmm. But even then, like, Partners in Crime as a meta is so unique that there's so much more I think we could have done with this team that we could have even like imagined possible. Mm-hmm. Even just like, I don't know, running more discharge, running like just different mons. Like the fact that you can, for those who don't know, you get the moves and abilities of the Pokemon next to you as well. Like, it leads to way too many like permutations. You can do pretty much anything you imagine. Mm-hmm. So what Tim imagined was pure evil.
Yeah. So on the contrary, where Adam brought he had one team where it was mostly electric. Tim brought a mostly ice team with the snow core. And we talk about this replay in the Week 9 PR. Go check it out if you haven't.
It actually had Bright Powder. I'm gonna go now.
Yeah. No. So this is just evil bullshit. And Tim wanted to play for his evolutions, and what ended up happening was all of a sudden Glaceon is quiver dancing with Frostmoth, and nobody's able to hit them with the Snow Cloak. And then Sylveon comes in with Pixelate Hyper Voice, and then all of a sudden Frostmoth is throwing out Fairy-type moves.
It's crazy.
And then coming in at the end is another little idea with Mousehold and Cleaver. So Population Bomb is boosted by Sharpness. So you just kill everybody. So you get the Technician boost and the Sharpness boost. And then you give Technician to Cleaver too.
Yeah.
And not to mention, Sylveon has Stored Power alongside Baton Pass on Glaceon and Quiver here.
It's teams like this, which is why there is no sleep clause in this format, because teams like this exist. Mm-hmm. the level of team you can make is just through the roof. That certain strategies are almost like, this is an unreal strategy. This is something you would never imagine.
This is some hell concoction only thought up in like the Russian gulag.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's why we really enjoyed this set, and why if Adam had won, I might have called this my favorite set too. But then I had.
So you had to.
It was really fun. It was really fun.
What was your favorite side event?
My favorite side event. So we started the year. We picked a new side event for every single format we did. And the winner of the side event got to pick next week's side event. So to start, no one really knew what to do. I recommended metronome battles, not realizing what metronome battles were, because apparently the metronome battles format in Showdown is hysterical and completely different.
It's nonsensical.
And that turned out to be my favorite, because that week our team actually went and looked at what metronome battles were, and so many people got into it. They were playing it on their own. They were calling people from other like groups and people who aren't in our league here to play metronome battles, and just seeing all that was so enjoyable. I have to put that as my favorite. Yes, it's metronome. It's not the most competitive format,
but it's fun.
But it's fun, and that's all I could have asked for on a side event, is for the players to enjoy it, and Adam and David definitely enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. And in terms of least favorite, I think we might be in agreement that Cross Evolution was the worst format ever concocted, ever.
I want to blame Aaron for this. I really do. I don't know why he picked this. I think he just thought it would be funny.
Yeah, but then I think the blame comes to JT. We talked about these games.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm like,
actually, we never went over these in the PR, but we're not going to, because nobody should ever have to watch these. You know what?
Oh, you're gonna get it?
We're gonna play the first game. We're gonna load up that first game.
thank you, Hall and JT, for being willing to play this metagame.
Yeah.
Is really number one. Number two, out of all the metagames we've played, like, they've all kind of made sense. You know, you've gotten your head around it. I still can't figure this out. I still don't know what the purpose of this metagame is.
Yeah. So we're just going to kind of let this play, you know, just to kind of highlight it. So the Pokemon are named after what they, quote-unquote, are evolving into, where they basically get all of their moves and abilities that they can now use.
You think that would, like, on paper, that sounds really cool. And there probably is a lot of cool stuff we didn't get to see in this meta, but instead,
we saw JT pull out Garganackle so that he could Salt Cure Infestation and stall out the entire universe.
Or so you would think.
Yes.
Because I'm...
So, just to, you know, spare your brains, you know, this, you know, this is just, we're gonna sit here for a bit, you know. We're going. He's got Recover too.
He sure does.
So then we got Hydreigon Magneton, which is kind of cool. So now he gets Levitate, and access to really strong Dark Pulses. And I think what it does, so whatever you evolve into, you get the stat growth of that Pokemon.
Right.
So in the case of let's take Barboach for example, when Marini evolves into Toxapex, it gets however many stats. That is what Barboach is going to get on top of its current stat spread.
Yeah, it's a very interesting like way they do the stats here, which can lead to probably a lot of like different, I guess, interactions depending on who you want to evolve into. For example, like this Hariyama Guts boosted Stantler now probably has like 1 million attack.
Yeah.
It's probably not a better version. It's probably the strongest thing in the tier. Who knows?
But yep. So look, and see, JT brought Blissey.
Yeah, Blissey Bisharp.
So now you get the huge, you know, Spadef and all that. So, like again, it's really fun in on paper, you know. But then like you just can devolve into, you know, instead of funny damage, it's just stall and, you know.
It's okay. We can just blame JT for the stall.
Yeah. So so yeah, we're gonna kind of leave it at that. You get the gist.
Yeah.
But
I think both players were happy once the set was over that it was over. Compared to every other side event, I think where everybody, even Pokeabilities, everyone had a good time.
Yeah. So real quick, we're gonna give some awards out. So I'm gonna give the Backstreet Boys MVP award. I'm going to give it to Tim. Very impressed with Tim throughout the season. Ever since I think it was week 4 or 5, he never lost a game. He just went on a tear. He was building good teams. He was having a good time and just playing really well. And I also want to give a special shout out to Ethan, who came in never playing competitive Pokemon, and every week gave me something where I was like, this kid can ball, and then would also give me a heart attack the next breath. So it's always an exciting set, and it definitely got my heart rate up for sure. So good job, Tim. You were the best first pick I could ask for. Brian, who is your MVP?
Ooh, my MVP is going to go to Adam this season. Adam played not only the most games out of everybody, he picked up a lot of the slack, although I guess he did tie Jordan, so both Adam and Jordan there. But he did get some very crucial wins, big wins throughout the season that led us to win a few weeks by a game. And also, he really impressed me with his gameplay and performance. Even in the sets that he lost, he put on really close matches. We all expect Adam to be really, to grow each season. Like, he has a ring, first of all.
Yeah.
But, like, he's never really been able to, like, ball out in the regular season as hard. And I think this season he really showed that he can hang with us. He can hang with the top. He can be up there. In the regular season, just like everyone else, and I could not have been happier with his performance. And And lastly, what I would say is even more important, he was in the chat making teams, discussing teams, helping out. Like, I didn't expect I didn't expect him to go through that much variations and like team building ideas, even for side events. It was really fun to like have him work with us as a team and show off his thought process and all that. And I think that was really major for a lot of the victories he got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, very well said. Yeah, definitely one part I'm glad that this is over. We can now all build together again, and
Yes.
there's less of the competition because things definitely got feisty at some points.
I'm gonna help David make gravity teams in Gen 3, or
Yes.
so he thinks.
Yes, the gravity that does not exist.
Gravity does not exist. I'm spoiling it for him this way.
So we'd also like to give out the Patrick Hall Best Nickname Award. We have three recipients. The Patrick Hall Best Nickname Award typically is given by Patrick Hall himself, but however he has been MIA, so we are going to give the award in his stead. So our three nominations are Coco Cabana, the top Coco from Adam, and I See You, Zap, the Magnemite from Drew, and one of Hall's own, the Fuck You Tree, which is Zerka-Tree. We talked about him a little earlier.
We all picked electric types for this.
We really did. How about that?
I did not realize that.
No, I didn't either. All right, but I think we've stalled enough between, a power outage, waiting 3 weeks to get this out. So let's talk about how this is what you're waiting for. So this is how we determine the winner, not doing a playoff. So each set win gives a point. So if you look here, my team, Backstreet Boys, we won the most sets, which is awesome. I'm super proud of you guys for that. We won 4 of the 7 formats from head-to-heads, which is awesome. However, Brian's team won more weeks overall. And if you add up all those points, we end up with 35, and the Rogue Agency end up with 36, because the side event only counts in the case of a tiebreaker. So, Team Brian, congratulations.
Woo-hoo. Good job, everybody. Very proud of you guys, especially because I wasn't there for the last 2 weeks. You guys. Well, you didn't hold your own on week 8, but you really did your best on week 9. It was really tough, and I think both teams really put out everybody balled out this season.
Yeah,
it was lovely to see it.
Yes,
but yes, congratulations. This is our moment. Mm-hmm. This is where you get your little Halo yay in the chat. Yes. I'll post it after this video.
Yes, and you guys get to talk shit until the mock draft.
Exactly. So, which it's coming up pretty soon. Make sure you're there.
Yeah, make sure you're there. But yep, that's it for SAPAPL. Thank you for tuning in for the first, the first season of the PR podcast. Next time you hear our voices talking about video games, we will have rebranded. So we will leave you in suspense as to what our new presentation will be. It'll be very exciting. Hope you're looking forward to it. Yeah, that's it. You got anything to add?
No, thank you, Matt, very much for letting me be a commissioner and running a team this season, and I cannot wait until we do this again.
Yes, it'll be a great time. But until then, as always, continue to build teams that don't lose to Rotom Wash and Garganapple. You can throw him in there too. And have a good day.